Hi, we are the expert group on joint venture, and in this presentation we would like to explain you the concept of joint venture. A joint venture is a cooperative arrangement between two or more business entities, often for the purpose of starting a new business activity. Each entity contributes assets to the joint venture and agrees on how to divide up income and expenses. Each entity in the joint venture, which could be individuals, groups of individuals, companies, or corporations, keeps its separate legal status. A joint venture may be set up by a contract that outlines the resources, such as money, properties, and other assets, each entity will bring to the venture, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. A joint venture might involve two companies with different areas of expertise, working together to create a new product or provide new services. A company looking to break into a new geographical market might form a joint venture with a company that is based in or has an established presence in the country or region. It can be short or long term. It combines the resources and expertise of the partners, and it can help reduce costs of marketing or production. There are different types of joint venture collaborations. Here on the picture, you can see the example of upstream-based collaboration, downstream-based collaboration, and upstream and downstream-based collaboration. Upstream-based collaboration means that the partners in the joint venture share research, development, and production. In the downstream-based collaboration, the partners share marketing, distribution, sales, and/or services. And in upstream and downstream-based collaboration, the partners have different but complementary competencies at each end of the value chain.
So when it comes to the types of joint venture, we have Y coalition and X coalition. Y coalition is when partners share the actual performance of one or more value chain activities. So for example, joint production of models or joint marketing agreement. On the other hand, there is X coalition where partners divide the value chain activities between themselves. So one partner will develop and manufacture the product while other will market it. Then we have stages in joint venture formation. So we are actually making sure that joint venture is the way to go. It starts off with making the objectives, what are the main goals of this entry formation, and specifying the time period for achieving those objectives. Then we're evaluating joint venture against every other entry model in specific features. So we are seeing how does it work with financial commitment, management commitment, risk reduction, long-run market penetration, while comparing it to the other models. After that, we select a partner for joint venture, making a profile for it, identifying the candidates, drawing up a short list, screening them, and making an initial contact and a discussion. After that, we chose a partner. So there is a development of a business plan where we consider ownership split, management, production, and marketing. After that, it's final agreement determined by the bargaining power of both partners. And it comes with a legally binding contract that is formed based on the fourth and the fifth step. So based on the business plan that was developed and final agreement. For our last and the seventh step is the performance of evaluation. We are going to establish a control system for measuring venture performance and evaluate.
Why joint venture? Now I'll talk about pros and cons. Pros: reduced market and political risk, shared risk of failure, shared resources, less capital and fewer management resources are required, less costly, access to new markets and contribution networks. The local partners will provide the skills and knowledge required for managing a business in its country. Cons: conflicts between partners, incompatible objectives, disproportionate contributions, lost control over foreign operations, cultural difference, risk of being locked in a long-term investment. The chosen partner should bring the desired complementary strength to the partnership. So what to be aware of? First, finance. For example, financial story and overall financial standing. Organization, like structure of organization, quality and turnover of senior managers. Market, like reputation in market and with competitors. Production efficiencies, layouts, capital investments and improvements, and so on. Institutional, like government and business contacts. Possible negotiating attitudes, like flexible or hardline, reasonably open or close, and secretive. Short-term or long-term orientation, and so on.
Let's look at some of the examples of joint ventures. So one of the companies that uses joint ventures is Zara, and they use them in the countries where their sociocultural distance is relatively high. For example, in 1999, they joined a 50-50 joint venture with the German firm Otto Versand, which had experience in the distribution sector and market knowledge in Germany. And in 2009, they joined the 51-49 joint venture with Tata Group to develop Zara stores in India. Then Sony Ericsson is another famous example of joint venture, which was between two large companies, Japanese consumer electronics company, Sony Corporation, and the Swedish telecommunications company, Ericsson, which partnered in the early 2000s with the aim of being a world leader in mobile phones. And we can see that the joint venture was successful with it being at the top of global industry with over 100 million phones sold in 2007. And last but not least, the Danish example of joint venture is, for example, when Resolux Group partnered with by Ramon to produce internal turbines components in Turkey, and they established a joint venture, Resolux Turkey, to which both of them put their experiences in. For Resolux Groups, it was more than 20 years of global experience, and for the Barca based Bayramoglu, it was 60 years of industrial manufacturing experience. That's about it for today. We hope you understood everything, and if not, we are ready for your questions tomorrow.